Hey guys, welcome back to another PDOCS Livestream Series episode. And this week in particular, this one's kind of impromptu in terms of I didn't do many hype posts. And as you guys might have just saw earlier today, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to even promote it just because I've been working on so much stuff this week. I forgot to even tell you guys the topic. But what I really want to dive into today and cover is messaging as a whole, and really the reason that that we crafted a new challenge that's coming out. I don't want to sit here and promote that too much. I really want to talk about the reason behind it and why this is the most recent product and curriculum that we crafted internally, and some of the discussions we had behind the scenes on why this is an issue. Number one, a lot of people that view this wherever you're watching it, here on the Facebook Live, you might be seeing the replay, it might be posted up on my YouTube channel, what have you. A lot of you guys have tried these other products and certain things like the one funnel away challenge, right? And as I kind of joke, right, you might be one funnel away, but that could be 87 funnels down the road. There's a lot of people that go through that challenge, and yeah, you learn something, you probably create something, but does it convert and monetize? So that's one aspect. And what's kind of left out with that, or any other thing, right? You might grab this great new software you think is going to help you monetize. Maybe it's a CRM like GHL, and you just don't actually have the flow yet, and you just thought it would help your business, but you realize, like, I don't have the lead generation and the volume to even really justify using the features and benefits within that software, right? That's just another example. But the point being, like, out of anything that you join or you pay for, or that you invest, there should be, in most of these products, especially business related, some type of monetary return, and there should be a clear path on how to obtain that and achieve that. And I think that's overlooked in a lot of these products and programs because they're done in big, group capacities. There's no real one-on-one touch. There's a lot of general great information and general templates. But if you never really dial in your messaging, but you craft this awesome funnel off everything you learned in the One Funnel Away Challenge on how to go into the funnel builder, how to copy and paste, how easy it is to swap images and headlines and buttons, right? But if your messaging is never really dialed in, and what you're getting in those types of products are templates, are rehash messaging, are general messages for certain industries that may not apply to you, or just may not be that effective anymore. They could just be watered down. And again, watered down is a big aspect of this topic of messaging right now. There's a lot of retreaded, and that's in anything, but there's a lot of retreaded information, right? And when that happens, market sophistication rises above that eventually, when that becomes the industry standard. And that's what's happened in the last few years. People aren't as susceptible to the shiny object syndrome per se, or not as susceptible to some of the marketing messages that used to work. And that's why the way that we do it and we teach it, and what works for all of our companies, and why we're still thriving and rolling and crafting new offers and new companies and enrolling new clients daily, and solving problems, is because we're trying to stay ahead of the curve, and we're always focusing on the implementation and execution for the monetization, right? And that's what people are after. So a lot of these programs and products and things you bought, you're either feeling like, oh, I just never got the right tactic or approach, which oftentimes is true, or you're getting kicked down saying, hey man, I gave you my formula, it works for everybody else, if it's not working for you, it's your mindset, or you're just not putting in enough and you're not accountable. Or maybe you're doing all those things, but again, because your messaging isn't dialed in, you're just getting down on yourself and saying, hey man, this market's too saturated, what I paid for doesn't work. And you're just, even though you might have learned something, and sometimes when we do these, guys, myself included, we learn what not to do, and we've made bad investments. And some of you people feel like, I need access to those high ticket stuff, but I just can't afford it. So where you're at right now is kind of in a little bit of desperation mode. I say that with air quotes, in terms of needing to generate income and revenue now in the business. And that's where this comes in. We wanted to create something that within a 5-day span, you guys can implement, monetize, and it's going to bring in revenue into the business. And that's kind of what I want to cover. Really quick before I dive into this, I'm going to go over to my other screen, and you guys that are here in this PDOCS group, most of you, and a vast majority of you, are in my private paid PDOCS client acquisition method members group, where I posted this video yesterday. But if you ask for, or you just look for this YouTube channel, or let me know if you need the link. Some of you might be watching this on YouTube, so you'll be able to find it easily. But when it comes to the tactics and approaches, a lot of that, I did a quick little overview video yesterday. I mean, I don't know how quick, it was 20 minutes, right? But this video was some of the I want to say the unexpected solutions, and you're going to hear me talk about that in messaging, but some of the approaches that you guys might have never got dialed in, and this is probably what you're missing. So you can probably go over there in that particular video. I put a bunch of extra bonuses and freebies and things where you can be able to like watch this, pick out, oh, this or this tactic is definitely like what I need or what I'm missing. And then there's further resources for how to dial in that particular tactic or approach. So anybody can go and get the help they need with that. So I just wanted to drop that there really quickly. Before I dive into what I'm going to do today. Not sure how many people are watching. Again, I didn't really hype this one. I'm not one of those people that very often goes and tags at everybody. I thought about doing it just because this one I had so little, notice and promotion or hype posts or just, awareness on the topic. But whoever is watching, if you guys have any questions or anything I'm talking about you want access to, just type in the chat and I will check here, sporadically throughout how long I'm on here live. But what we craft and what I'm talking about is a 5-day messaging mastery challenge. Now, a lot of you guys have maybe attended our Sales Lab Sales Mastery Challenge, which have gotten people great results, and we still run those annually for free at minimum, and we also do all kinds of private trainings throughout the year and stuff. But this particular challenge is PDOCS, as I said, powered and backed by From Vision to Victory. And my main man and colleague and subject matter expert, Fred Smith, he and I have crafted the curriculum, what needs to be taught, and really the intellectual property and the psychology and the skills and the framework that goes behind it. So we want to make sure you guys have all that. So again, this challenge is going to run a week from Monday, July 29th through August 2nd. Each day at 12 p.m. Pacific or 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be going live with all participants to teach that particular day's challenge session. And what the basic overall simple aspect of this is, it's simply teaching the skills, frameworks, and psychology that go into effective, authentic messaging that actually converts. And again, effective and authentic is in there for a reason. If you guys look at a lot of the messaging you're either producing or receiving on the back end, where you're like, oh, I'm getting this spammy messaging, or look at this crappy content, it's probably very ineffective or lack of authenticity, and it's something that's been copied and pasted and again watered down. This challenge is only $97 to join, and it's really designed for 3 different aspects. And again, the most people that would probably benefit, the line or two above what I just highlighted, designed for expert service providers and brands to really give you the complete arsenal required to confidently and effectively do these 3 things. Now, every time I work with somebody's messaging, they fall into one of these 3 buckets, right? Number one, they either don't know how or for some reason just never really tried and crafted and created messaging. So we're going to show them how to create it from scratch. And sometimes those people are actually easier to teach for as opposed to people in bucket 2 and 3 here. Number 2, fix your broken, ineffective messaging. So in that case, you've likely crafted some messaging and you're just really not getting any results with it. Again, I feel very repetitive, but you might be copying a framework or a template that your coach or, your guru or whatever course you took just said, hey, this is the outreach message that works for me, use this and you'll get results, and it's not working. That could be dated. That could be, tried and true. They could have taught that 2 years ago, and by now 700 people have adopted that and done it, right? All kinds of things and reasons, and I would have to look at it to know better. And just so we're clear, messaging is all encompassing here, what we're going to teach. We're going to be working people within this challenge for email messaging, for organic DM messaging, for organic posts, for ad copy, for sales page, stuff. All of those things and more. It's really messaging. I mean, there will be, again, those are the main 4 or 5 buckets that I just mentioned. There might be 1 or 2 more that is going to be a vast majority, if not everybody's going to kind of fall into those. But when I'm saying messaging, it doesn't just mean in Messenger or just, email copy. This is for sales page, landing page, ad copy, ads that convert, getting the right hooks and angles is a big aspect of messaging. And then number 3, I've worked with quite a few people that have pretty decent messaging, but they've just never really dialed it in and threw that accelerant on it to really make it pop, right? They get some results, they get some leads from it, they maybe get some deals, but if we could just dial that up a little more and get people kind of responding at a 2 to 3x clip saying, hey, I'd love information, or I'd love to hear more about that. That's what we really want when your messaging is really dialed in. And, that's going to start with day 1 of the challenge, understanding effective messaging. So this is another thing that's overlooked in a lot of programs. programs, again, they're going to give you examples or samples or frameworks or templates or literal copy and paste scripts, but they're not actually going to show you the components that went into creating it. So when it's not working, you either don't know how to go replicate that and have it be effective, or don't know how to tweak that, as I was just talking about. So day one is really going in deep into the understanding the components and aspects that make messaging work and effective. Without that, you'll never be able to, master your messaging and get to these other topics. So, the components that really we're going to hone in on is what makes you stand out, what makes you pop. Understanding market sophistication level and how to craft the message to the right sophistication level, huge aspect, and that might even be down further in here, but that's certainly going to be covered also here in day one. The psychology that goes behind it, the different types of messaging for different platforms and different objectives. We're just going to make sure everybody has clarity, I should say, on how and why messaging does work or is effective. And what I like to tell people to think about, and for anybody watching now, right, think about the ads or the hooks or the messaging or the emails that you click on, you open, you respond to, you convert on, you buy from, you book on. Think of that messaging, and you're going to see some similarities, and what we cover in day one really breaks it down, and people are like, oh my god, like now I can go replicate this because I understand the same process I was going through and what was making me take that next step. And when you get that, it all becomes it just clicks. There's no better way to say it. Now, this is the one that's very interesting to me in this challenge, day two, and really where Fred's expertise and crafting the vision and purpose behind your messaging, which is, to be honest, something I really overlooked and didn't make a priority. The purpose part to an extent, but it was different. I was doing it within the objective and not the larger vision and purpose of my overall brand, of my long-term strategy. So making content, messaging, ad campaigns, all that stuff to get instant results, as well as within your larger vision and your brand's core values and the image you want to portray, all those things, right? So Fred's brand, From Vision to Victory, which I'm partnered and helping with some of that stuff over there, and we got some great clients and some great offers cranked out there. But Fred really dials that in and teaches a lot of that, and with what I know on the tactics and the applications of messaging, combined with that bigger vision and purpose, just really, again, it's another accelerant. This is a cool aspect because you guys have seen, some of you guys have seen my client acquisition method curriculum. You were an auto organic client. You've been through some of the PDOCS 7-day challenges that we kind of built the company off and renowned for. And this is the first live challenge we've launched with PDOCS in, it's got to be 18 to 20 months since we've ran the last live PDOCS challenge. And the reason is we don't just run them to run them. We run them with a purpose. And, that's what the headline of this post was, like, what's really going on in this space with messaging? And it's a mess, right? They always say, turn your mess into your messaging. And like, that's a great funnel hacker live and one funnel away and a great entry level thing that gets people fired up. Oh, I could do that. But then they realize, like, maybe once they get their messaging and all of a sudden the rest of the mess starts to disseminate out of their business. And it's hard to just make your messaging when you don't understand what I'm talking about here. Day one, the understanding of the messaging, the vision and purpose behind it. Like, when you don't get all this, it's hard to really turn your message to your message. You can do it. But what we're talking about here is it effective? Are people paying attention, engaging? Are they asking, are they starting conversations? Are they booking in to hear about your product, your service, your offers? So that's the big difference, right? And yeah, as I said, turn your message to your message, but how did that work out for you? So we're going to go much in depth on why that wasn't working out for you, and a really overall approach to messaging, that all the little, tactics and stuff I'll be teaching. And again, that YouTube video I just referenced a few minutes back shows you some of those great tactics and approaches, within the larger vision and purpose. That's like, that's ideal. It's just ideal, which is great. By day 3 of the challenge, which is awesome, people are going to have the skills and understanding to be able to start implementing and executing on their new messaging, and they'll be given a homework assignment. Well, there'll be one for each day, but specifically this one, where they're going to actually feel confident, and they're going to come back on day 4 and get some great feedback on that. We might actually probably give 2 days on that one, and then we'll probably go into the reviewing of that copy and stuff on the launch it day. But I don't want to skip ahead here. So this one is also, guys, obviously I've created content. I've worked for some of the big players in the industry. I've bought my share of courses. I still get handed, current courses and new curriculum coming out. So I know what's out there in the market, and day 4 is something that people also aren't teaching when it comes to your messaging. So number 1, they're not very good, and some are talking about this, but not in the extent and the systemized process and repeatable way that we're going to cover this. But when it comes to opening up that feedback loop between your messaging and your marketplace and your consumers for constant optimization and improvement. So we kind of show you how to grade or score your messaging, and most importantly, how to scale winning messaging, like something that works organically. And you're like, oh my God, Ray, all of a sudden I'm getting way more comments and way more interest and way more DMs because of this hook. Like, that's what we call a winner. It becomes apparent really quick, and then you put that into other aspects of your messaging. You can actually take winning organic hooks like that, put them right into paid ads, and they're almost guaranteed to work, because once it's been validated organically, you throw money behind it, there's going to be more people that have that same reaction that the organic audience had, right? So we're going to show you how to scale super effective messaging organically, and then through paid should you choose. That's definitely not a prerequisite or requirement. And then, as I said, also how to tweak and revive the less effective messaging. So what I like to say is we kind of show you how to shelve it and put it into the back burner within this structured program and board we're going to give you to organize this, which is the other aspect, the organization, right? But we'll show you how to shelve the losers, how to test them, and how to make tweaks, and then relaunch them. And you're going to see sometimes you make a subtle tweak and you relaunch it, and you're going to have winners, and you're going to understand why when you're going through this. It's going to make a lot of sense. That goes into, again, the sophistication level, the different lead types, and some of those tactics that are in the other video, and that are going to be really thoroughly dove into and taught and given to you guys in this particular challenge. By day 5, everybody will have their new messaging campaign launched. Again, whether it's ad creative, whether it's ad copy, whether it's landing page copy, sales page, emails, organic DM approaches, and what we call our eco framework, which I cover again in that other video. So not only will you either be on day 5 or have already launched your new messaging campaigns, but more so, you'll now have the acumen and wherewithal to be able to continuously craft, fix, and or dial in your messaging confidently and consistently from this day forward. And that's what people do, right? So the other thing we're doing in this challenge that I don't think anybody else does, especially not for under $100, you don't actually get on a call with like the subject matter expert that hosted the whole challenge, right? The Steve Larson in One Funnel Away, or the Russell Brunson, or the Dan Henry. Like, you don't get it. So that's what, when Fred and I designed this, and again, talking about results and outcomes, we're like, what's one thing missing for those challenges? And I've paid through them and I've been through them. And I'm like, even if I get a result or I build something cool, they don't give me a game plan specific to me, other than the general advice for everybody, but specific to me on how I would go implement that into my business and monetize that quickest. So we have a bonus one-on-one commencement call where really either Fred or I you're going to get on with, and we're going to sit down and review personally, individually, instead of in the group setting, and validate and verify your messaging and see if there's any last subtle adjustments that we would recommend, and discuss that. And then more importantly, we're going to tell you exactly, if for your objective and what you're trying to accomplish and the type of messaging you're writing, if I just created this now in my business and I didn't have this 5 days ago and just came through this challenge, how would I implement this to monetize? And we want to make sure everybody has a streamlined game plan and approach that's going to be custom to you guys. So I think the overall essence of putting something together with this type of curriculum, delivering it in one business week, and then seeing a clear result on the back end is super, super important. Speaking of results, there's a post earlier today in the PDOCS about somebody that was in CAM. He just joined to learn some of our app method strategies for paid ads. And what did he do? He tweaked his messaging, got those strategies down. If you go look at the post, his cost per lead for his customer went down from $35 to $6. So again, within a couple of weeks, and that wasn't even, he would have done it in 5 days if he did this challenge, but he was in the curriculum learning specifically the paid ad tactics on his own time, in addition to his own business. And that's still within, I think he joined the program less than 3 weeks ago. Within 3 weeks, he's learned enough, implemented, and already got that tangible result. So that's what everything we do is about. In bold here really quickly is kind of the features or the deliverables in the program, lifetime access to the portal and all the sessions and recordings. Each day there's going to be templates, docs, frameworks, boards. You're going to have lifelong resources and assets to keep applying. Obviously the 5 1-hour sessions with myself and Fred, each person individual one-on-one commencement call, and most importantly perhaps the continuous skill set and knowledge that's going to keep delivering good messaging, effective messaging, and ultimately when we show you, revenue and income into your business for years to come. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover and highlight. Again, anybody interested in more details or wants to see the video of me overviewing this on their own time, they either caught this late or they just want the expedited version because I've been going for over 20 minutes here now. I'll be happy to send that over, or if you just want the link, hey Ray, I want to check it out, let me know. We'll get that sent over to you. I'm going to go log in here really quickly and see if there was any comments or questions or anything I can add for you guys. But again, this was the every other week where I just come on and kind of teach a lesson. And, the lesson is the overall crappy messaging in the marketplace right now, and we just wanted to show there's solutions to it. And some of this, even if you reverse engineer this and you don't want to join the challenge and you just go through all this stuff on your own, this is kind of the step-by-step approach that I would take to doing that. Doesn't look like I have any comments on there. Let me just check. Again, I don't expect much of a turnout today with the lack of notification. 12 views. No, just one like, no comments. Cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, we will wrap it up there for today. Again, if you need any more information, or if you're watching on YouTube, there will be more details there in the description. Or if you want the link to that other video I referenced with the tactics and approaches and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we teach our PDOCS students, feel free to comment below, and I'll get that over to you.